I want to talk about a topic that many people hear about, but many people do not understand clearly. The topic is, what is Sharia and why should the West not fear it? This subject is often presented in a very negative way. Many people hear the word Sharia law and immediately think about fear, violence, punishment, or oppression. But is that the full picture? No, it is not. So today, let us talk about it in a simple and honest way. Sharia is an Arabic word. It means a clear path. In Islam, Sharia is the way of life that Allah has given for human beings. It is guidance for how to live, how to act, how to deal with others, how to run family life, how to do business, how to solve disputes, and how to build a just society. So Sharia is not only about punishment. That is one of the biggest misunderstandings. Sharia covers many parts of life. It teaches people to pray, to fast, to give charity, to respect parents, to protect family, to speak the truth, to avoid cheating, to avoid stealing, and to deal with others fairly. It is a complete system of guidance. Now, here we should make one point very clear. Sharia is not something where people just take the part they like and leave the part they do not like. If a Muslim believes in Sharia, then Sharia is not just a personal opinion. It is a system of right and wrong based on religion. And if a country applies Sharia as part of its law, then it becomes law like any other law. People living under that legal system are expected to follow it. This is normal. Every country has laws. In every country, people must follow the law. So if a country uses Sharia in its legal system, that does not make it strange. It simply means that country is using a legal system based on Islamic principles. Now, some people in the West become worried when they hear this. Why? Because many media discussions only focus on one thing, punishment. They do not talk about the full system. They do not talk about justice, mercy, responsibility, family rights, business ethics, care for the poor, and protection of society. They only show the most controversial part. But if you judge any system only by the hardest punishments, then you will never understand the full system. Even modern states have prisons. Modern states use force. Modern states punish crime. No legal system works without rules and consequences. So the real question is not, does the system have punishments? The real question is, what is the purpose of the law? What kind of society is it trying to build? Sharia tries to build a moral, disciplined, and just society. It tries to protect religion, life, family, property, and dignity. It tells people not to exploit others. It tells business people not to cheat. It tells rulers to be just. It tells families to fulfill their responsibilities. It tells society to care for the weak, the poor, and the orphan. These are not dangerous ideas, these are serious moral ideas. Now let us talk about another common claim. Some people say Sharia is harsh, barbaric, or backwards. But that language often comes from ignorance, fear, or political propaganda. Many people use these words without studying what Sharia actually is. They hear a few examples, they see a few headlines, then they judge the entire system. That is not fair. That is not serious thinking. Also, many things blamed on Sharia are actually caused by culture, bad government corruption, or misuse of religion. This is also important. Not every action done in the name of Islam is truly Islamic, and not every country that claims to follow Sharia applies it correctly or justly. So we must be careful. We should judge the system by its principles and also by how fairly it is implemented. Does Sharia only belong in private life? No, not completely. It is true that many Muslims follow Sharia in matters such as prayer, fasting, charity, marriage, diet, and behavior. But Sharia is bigger than private life. It also includes rules for society, economics, justice, and law. So it is not correct to say Sharia is only personal. At the same time, it is also true that not every Muslim country applies full Sharia in the same way. Some apply parts of it, some mix it with other legal systems. Some use Islamic law more in family matters, others use secular systems in many areas. So the reality is complex, but the basic point remains the same. Sharia is a full system, not just private worship and not just criminal law. It is much wider than both. So should the West fear Sharia? I think the answer is no. The West should try to understand it before fearing it. Fear usually grows when people do not know enough. When people hear words without proper explanation, they imagine the worst. But understanding changes the discussion. It makes the conversation calmer, smarter, and more honest. This does not mean everyone has to agree with Sharia. It does not mean everyone has to support Islamic law. But at the very least, people should talk about it based on facts, not fear. They should understand that for Muslims, Sharia is a serious moral and legal framework, and they should understand that calling it barbaric without knowledge is lazy and unfair. Let me close with this. Every society has laws. Every civilization has moral rules. Every legal system is based on some idea of right and wrong. Sharia is the Islamic system of right and wrong. For Muslims, it is not something random, and it is not something to be mocked or feared without reason. It is a system meant to create justice, order, responsibility, and moral life. People can debate it, people can study it, people can question how it is implemented. That is fair, but fear without understanding helps no one.